Went to USC, but I picked that just because they gave me a full ride. And it was based on academics. So I didn't think I was going to get to play there, just because their water polo team is like insanely good. But in the end, my mom convinced me to just talk to the coach.
So it feels like I've always been interested in the fitness industry, but so we have to go way back. I think where I got really interested in health and wellness is when I was younger, 7th grade.
I feel like I'm meant to be in LA. I want to do more of the TV production side of things. I want to be in front of the camera as well. So I feel like LA is going to probably be where I move within the next few years. But then, I would be open to even going.
Yes, most definitely. The first thing is it really helped me put things into perspective that, well, chiropractic is not the most important thing in my life. I have other responsibilities, and that really kind of shifted it more towards, making me focus more on family.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today we're here with Bianca Waiton. She talks to us about surfing in California compared to Hawaii, her why and what she's really passionate about, and her training, what she does to train every day and keep herself in shape. All right, here you go. Enjoy the show. All right, Bianca. So this is not part of it or anything. I just want you to gush about yourself. Like, who are you? Brag about yourself just a little bit. What have you done?
What do you mean, what have I done?
What have you done? You used to swim. What?
Like my history growing up?
Yeah.
I grew up on Kauai, which I think I'm just so grateful for. It's the most amazing thing ever. I think for a kid to grow up somewhere where you just have so much nature around you. So I was just, barefoot and in my swimsuit pretty much. I played every sport, ran, hiked, and I think that really gave me kind of my love for just outdoors and nature at a young age, and also really helped me be like a really active kid, which helped because I was hyperactive, super hyper.
You hyperactive? That's weird. Would you grow out of it or something?
I feel like I've mellowed out a lot in the last year, but for other people, yeah.
You've mellowed out?
I do. I feel like I'm a lot more mellow than I used to be. I was an intense child. I think I was probably a lot to handle.
Have you asked your mother? Was I a lot to handle?
Yeah, she says yeah. I actually asked her the other day because we were around some other kids, and like the mom was saying they were just kind of going through an age where they get really kind of close to the parents. I don't know how old the kid was, but it was like maybe it was 2 or something, and they used to be a little more outgoing, and then now they were in a real mommy stage. And so I asked my mom, I was like, God, yeah, was there ever a time where I was shy as a kid? And she said, nope. Never. You're never shy. She's like, any stranger could have like taken you off. You just like, she told me that she used to do massage, and she used to work at this like club, athletic club that had like a pool and everything like that. So sometimes we used to go there, and she might have a couple massages, but I would swim in the pool.
Yeah.
And she said one time she was swimming some laps, and like all of a sudden she looks over, and I had basically enrolled some like random gentleman to give me like dolphin rides across the entire pool. And she was like, thankfully this is a nice guy, but literally I'm on his back, like he has no idea who I am. He's like jumping up and down, like, so yeah, it helped. I was an only child, so I think that, I'll make friends with whoever, like an old lady, a young person, like anyone that wants to hang out with me. I was excited.
Yeah. Did you do a lot of wall balls, the exercise wall balls as a kid, because you're only child, you got to throw the ball against a wall?
So I did not. I had lots of, no, I wasn't really like sit in the corner and throw the ball. It was more like run around. But yeah, and I played a lot of sports, so that was kind of like where I got a lot of team from.
What did you do in college, and what sports did you play? Did you excel at any one sport?
I always like to think that I was like a jack of all trades, master of none. I was a pretty good athlete, but was totally, all over the place, so could never focus on one. So like in high school, I played, or all growing up, I was played soccer. And then in high school, I did outrigger canoe, which is a big Hawaii sport.
Uh-huh.
And my sophomore year, I got really burnt out on soccer, and I didn't like my coach. So I quit soccer, and I couldn't just, like, have an off season. I was, like, too hyper. So I picked up water polo and ended up, like, loving it. And I ended up playing that in college. So I went to school. I ended up going to USC. But I picked that just because they gave me a full ride. So, and it was based on academics. So I didn't think I was going to get to play there just because their water polo team is, like, insanely good.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, my mom convinced me to just talk to the coach and, you know, see if I could walk on. And so I did. And the coach was like, yeah, just come out to tryouts, you know, see how it goes. And I totally just got my ass handed to me, like, totally spanked. Like, I mean, just the amount of swimming, and I was, like, so unprepared. But then, of course, that, like, drives me even more competitively, and I just worked my ass off and made the team and ended up being, like, one of the best things that I ever did in college. So super fun.
What was the time frame of you getting spanked to you getting on the team, or how was that?
Well, luckily for us, the women's season is second season. So the whole, like, the men are in season first, so the whole first half of the year is, like, preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually, I mean, I always thought I was, like, gonna hate swimming, and in high school we didn't swim, I mean, nearly as much. Our coach used to make us swim, like, swim team in college, you know, just immense amounts. And it actually came, like, really fast once I started doing it, and, like, that ended up being one of my gifts, is being really super fast. And I loved swimming. I used to think that it was going to be just so boring to swim back and forth, and then it just became, like, such an outlet for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say it came pretty fast. Not, you know, some of the girls I played with, they're, like, on the Olympic team now, so they're insanely good, and didn't take me to that level. But I think it's cool because getting to play with people who are so much better than you just learn so much so fast, like,
raises your level.
and as long as you're, you know, driven and into it, then, like, I think the level of improvement is huge, like, probably better than if I had played, you know, anywhere where I could have started, like Santa Barbara or something like that. I just learned way more, and was challenged, and super fun.
What did you do to prepare? Was there dry land involved and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
dry land would be, you can explain to people what dry land is.
Yeah, well, we didn't have, like, dry land training, like we didn't have to run or anything for our sport. We had basically like weight training 3 days a week, 3 to 5 days a week. It depends on if we're in season or out of season. So we had, like, our own strength coach. USC is really big on athletics, obviously. So every team has, like, all the sports have their own athletic center and, like, their own strength coach and their own programs. And so that was really funny because that was actually the first time I ever, like, weight trained.
Yeah.
And that also ended up being, like, an area that some of the girls didn't like it as much, and I just really did. I just thought it was so interesting to be able to, like, you know, just, like, keep working, and then you just keep getting stronger and stronger. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. So we had strength training, and then again, it depends on if we're in season or out season. A lot of the times we'd have morning practices, which would just be, like, swimming and conditioning, and then we would have evening practices where we would swim, and then, a lot of the time we would start with a meeting, which would end up being hours of, like, watching videos and him yelling at us, and then we would swim, and then we would practice and, you know, run through plays. And a lot of the time, to think back now, the amount that we just exercised and, like, or that I committed to sports is just insane. It's like hours and hours now, you know.
Yeah.
You work out for 20 minutes and you're like, whoo, got my workout in.
So I need 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, like, whoo, 2 times a week. Great, 3 times a week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but so yeah, it's actually hard. I think it was hard after school to kind of scale back to, like, obviously you have a job. When you have a job, you can't train all hours of the day. And you're like, how do I just, like, what's a normal level of fitness?
Yeah. What is a normal level? What's your normal, quote unquote, level of fitness? It may be different for others.
I think it just, it just depends on where you're at in your life and what you have. For me, I realized it's not working out every day or anything. It's just more like being active and feeling good and being consistent, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's any sort of combination. Like, sometimes it might be, like in the gym 3 times a week, and then other times it might be like yoga a couple days, surfing a couple days, like going for a run. It's just like continuously, I think, moving and just being active, but it's not like a certain number of dedicated hours each day.
Yeah.
I think people like to think that trainers work out every day. Like a lot of people think that as your job, if you're training people, that you're training as well.
Yeah.
Which I was like, no, that's not the case. Like if I work 8 clients out, I'm not working out for 8 hours. Like
Yeah.
I don't work out at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not like it's definitely not a crazy immense amount. It's just like more just a regular like activity level.
Balance of staying mentally, like okay with your activity level kind of thing. Is it a mental thing, or is it what do you think that it is now? Because before it was obviously performance, so you got to perform, you got to work out a lot to perform, and now what is it? Why do you work out now? Is to get your mind right, or is it an addiction, or what is it?
It's everything. I mean, it definitely, I think it's a huge mental thing for me. It keeps me balanced, and, like, if I don't work out for a while, just because maybe I got overwhelmed with work or whatever, I end up getting, like, kind of grouchy, and then sometimes even just going for a run, like, relieves me. I think a lot of the time it's just, it's being outside, it's, like, exhausting your body, it's tiring you out a little bit, and also it's just like the focus kind of puts you into a different like zone in your head where you're not thinking about life, you're getting to just relax. And I don't know, for me it's just like I think it just makes me feel good to use my body,
Yeah.
and to not have to think about what I should be doing or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of surfing, surfing may be a little different, like temperature-wise, size-wise, all that kind of stuff, from Hawaii to San Diego. Although, San Diego's pretty good surfing, blah, blah, blah. But we talked before, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting out there, and it's below 60 now, and...
It's terrible. It's terrible. Like, I grew up surfing in a little tiny bikini, and you never wore a wetsuit, and, like, sometimes it was like, oh, if you paddled out and it was kind of windy, it's cold, but
Yeah.
Here, shit, even in the summertime, even when you do trunk it, it's still cold, and, I'm so partial to Hawaii. I think the waves are 1,000 times better. I think it's so much warmer,
Yeah.
But that being said, it could be on the East Coast and it could be icicles, so I'm not so diehard that, you see people out with like booties and hoods, and I'm like, no, that's just it's too cold for me.
That's not surfing.
Yeah,
That's
no.
like Alaska stuff.
Well, because it's also for me, like, when you go out into the ocean, it's not, maybe it's because I'm, not freaking John Florence doing some crazy airs and whatever. Like, part of the whole experience of surfing, besides actually catching waves, is just even being in the water, For me, that's, like, relaxing. Paddling out, like, I have a huge thing for water. Like, crystal clear blue, like, Hawaii water is just, like, so healing to me. So just being there and sitting out there and just, like, soaking it in makes me happy. And I don't get quite the same feeling from, like, the cold Kelpie water here, It's, like, not, like, I'm sitting there being like, oh, yeah, this is so relaxing.
Freezing my butt up. I can't feel my fingers anymore.
Yeah.
Ice cream headache.
Yeah.
What's your title at Nicola? Here at Nicola?
Gosh, I don't know. I wear a lot of hats here at Nicola.
If you were doing your 30-second, like, if you're introducing yourself, like, how would you introduce yourself?
I think main role here at Nicola is coaching. So I guess you kind of say I'm like the head coach. I'm definitely like a large element of the community here. Like, it's something that's super important to me, and it's what I love to do. And so, I think I play a big role in sort of that team family dynamic that's created here, that everybody feels like part of a family. That's kind of what I like to create. So even when I'm coaching like a class or a client, I know most of everybody that comes in, and I just like to talk to everyone and just have connections with everybody and make them feel like part of the team. So yeah.
Like a ambassador or well, it's Nicola family. So what family member are you if that's the case? Like, what family member would you be?
I don't really feel, I'm not like the mom, kind of like the, kind of probably like the child, like the child in the family that like makes everybody laugh, but everybody loves, that's like super energized and runs around.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm a little more responsible than a child, but more like that, kind of like, sometimes I'm a little silly and crazy, but, I bring that out of other people and kind of, I mean, even though this is an amazing place to work, it's still work. And sometimes, you have a bunch of clients in a row or whatever, and you're just, you're tired, you have your own stuff going on. And sometimes all it takes is like a smile or someone jumping on your back or, something like that to kind of pull you out and be like, oh, this is super fun. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I do.
That's my title.
Yeah.
The fun ambassador. The
ambassador of Stoke.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. I don't know. I would say that you're the owner, co-owner, something. You have an official title.
I don't have an official.
You don't have an official title?
No, because I do all the marketing on the back end. I do a lot of design. I literally do so many different things that it's not like one
by
department.
Choice? You don't want an official title?
No, I just don't. I don't know. I feel like a little sad I don't have an official title, But I think like it would be weird to put like 10 titles, and I really feel like. I really feel like Jay is the owner. I mean, he's my husband, but this is his baby, and I feel amazing that I can support it and be such a huge part of it. Yeah. And, like, I feel like I'm part of the bloodline of what makes it work, but I do feel like, that he's the leader. Yeah. And not that I can't lead from where I am, but, I don't feel like the need to be, like, I'm the owner kind of thing.
Well, how was it changing locations? You had a big part in, organizing that, and there's a lot of moving pieces and stuff like that. What was, give it just a glimpse, a little 31 flavors size scoop of that.
It was stressful. The move was really stressful. I designed the new facility, like this facility, which for someone who has zero architectural, like, building knowledge is just so insane, because the people who, the company, they haven't built out a gym before. They build out, like, offices and, they wanted to use, like, laminate for everything. And they just, like, everything is just, like, generic stuff. And, I had a vision for what I wanted it to look like in here and how we wanted it to feel. And, I want reclaimed wood over here, and I want, this to be black and white. And so, everything was just like, I had to do all the research on every single type of everything that there was, from like countertops to like, you have to learn about electrical and ADA regulations and just like stuff that was really out of my element. So, and then there was just like a lot of, unexpected setbacks. It just was a really challenging process, but so worth it. I mean, the second we moved in, it was just this different kind of energy that, everybody was remarking on it, not just the team, but like the people working out. It was just this perfect new beginning that we needed. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, if you could impact one community, what would it be? What community would it be?
One community, like...
if, like... the youth or a community in Haiti or something like that. If there's one...
I kind of feel like like what? Oh, that's your phone.
That was my phone.
I kind of feel like I don't have like a specific, group of people that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about just all people. Like, I would just like to be able to impact everyone that I come in contact to, like to have a positive impact, whether it's kids or adults or, especially people. I think what I'm really passionate about is kind of that like pursuit of happiness and living in the moment and just like giving love and like, really just being this, this ball of like energy. And I just want everybody to have that. So whether it's, inspiring people through workouts or through just, friendship or whatever. I think my community is more just anyone who's kind of seeking, to share that kind of path in life. Like anyone who wants to, to better themselves, to grow, anyone who wants to, connect with people, anyone who's just, who's into that same, like, idea of, like, of getting what you put in and, like, just bettering the world, and, like, having an impact. And, I don't think it's limited to any specific group.
Yeah.
It's really just kind of everybody.
Well, you're the Michael Jordan of Nicola. Like Michael Jordan is for the Bulls. You're the Michael Jordan of Nicola.
I'm the Michael Jordan of Nicola.
Are you aware of that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm here to tell you that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, as Michael Jordan of Michael Jordan, kids look up to him. Guys playing basketball on the court, they're like wearing his shoes, dressing like him, sticking their tongue out, when they're going up for a wannabe slam dunk, stuff like that. And people, you're the Michael Jordan of Nicola. So, you say you didn't know that, but now that you do, what's that like? You may have a sense of it. I think you may have a sense of it. When they mentioned, Bianca did this workout and she effing crushed me on this workout.
I don't know. I think it's awesome. It's awesome to have that kind of impact on people, and it just totally drives the passion of, like, our job is a tremendous amount of work. Like, it's exhausting because you're putting so much energy into every person, and you're only, like, half coaching them. Half of the time you're their friend, you're their therapist. Like, a group of people comes in and everybody's energy is low. Like, how do you pull it up, or how do you calm it down? It's just, like, always figuring out, like, what the pool of people needs. And then I think, as far as myself goes, you have to really, people feel energy and, like, they know what's real and what's not. So you really have to be kind of in touch with yourself and also kind of free to be yourself. And I think that's kind of what I try to do the most to kind of inspire confidence in other people is just, whether I'm silly or I'm loud or I'm dancing to music or, I'm working out hard or I'm whatever. I'm just inspiring other people that they can do it, and that, they... like 1 second they can be, a badass, and the next second they can be a goofball, and that there's no, like, special, like, way that you have to be anything. You can just be whatever you want to be, and and that's cool. And so I think it's awesome, to have people feel inspired by you.
Yeah. What was your main influences of being who you turned out to be? We all have our past, like, maybe religion, parents, where we grew up, blah, 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 influences. What do you think is yours, major influences, for like how you are, how you be in the world, and you choosing the fitness industry to make as your career?
I think my mom is a huge influence, and it's really funny because in this last year I've realized just how incredibly similar we are, which, a couple years ago I was like, my gosh, I don't ever want to be like my mom, just because you just want to be your own person. But, I was an only child of single parent, just my mom and I think the two biggest influences were just her and how she raised me, and then growing up on Kauai, because there's this special energy on Kauai that is just, it is like what I feel inside. It's just incredibly, it's loving, and it's this connectedness, and it's this, like, in the moment, just appreciating how beautiful life can be, and there's not, this massive industry of work. You just do whatever you need to do to survive and to get through, and there's just, you're always, like, going to the beach or just appreciating, you're taking the time to appreciate, like, your days and the time you spend with people, and everybody is your aunt and uncle, and there's just this connectedness, and I think that kind of really ingrained in me.
Yeah.
And then my mom is, she just gave me an incredible life. She's this amazing just lover. She can just love every way there is to love, and she just is so supportive, and she gave me every opportunity she could. We didn't have anything growing up, like, definitely pretty impoverished in that sense, and, like, at the same time, I don't think I ever felt like I didn't have anything. Just not even like stuff. I mean, just in terms of, like, I just was so fulfilled in life, and I think she was I really taught me how to be appreciative and, just happy she's like the same way. She's a little kid, but it doesn't take much, takes a freaking flower, like a sunshiny day or whatever, I think it's been surprising because you just assume, like, everybody has the same, upbringing, which obviously everybody doesn't, but I guess, like, a lot of people have told me that I am insanely happy, and I just thought, like, everybody has that same potential, but I think I just have always just really enjoyed life and been really happy in the moment, and I think that's a gift that she really helped give me and instill in me from a young age. So I'm very grateful for her.
Awesome. So what about fitness as a career? What had you do that?
Like I said, I was a super hyperactive child, so just like sports and being active has just always been a huge thing for me. I was never, sit on the couch, like, play a video game or anything like that. So I didn't ever think that I wanted to be a trainer. I thought in college I tried a bunch of different majors, and I ended up taking a sports science class kind of as an elective and ended up loving it. And then as I, ended up pursuing my major in kinesiology, I thought I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to do something with sports, like actual, maybe like an athletic trainer or something like that. But I kind of just felt, after school, I just kind of, I think, just needed time to just practice living on my own or whatever, and I ended up getting a job as a lifeguard, and that was really fun just because I felt like I was getting to be active but help people, and I just didn't really know, and I had a lot of friends that, would want to, like, work out with me or something, and a lot of people would be like, you should be a trainer, and I kind of thought that trainers were, like, big meatheads that drink protein shakes, and I was like, I don't ever want to go in a gym, that's not my style. And it wasn't until I moved back from Australia to Encinitas and was living in Cardiff and, like, discovered when, Nicola used to be Zaya, and discovered it there, and I met Jay actually on the first day, and he kind of just told me about, their mission and their vision and what they were about, and I was just like, yes, like, it was just active people, like people who just liked to live this active lifestyle and were sharing it, and I just was like, that's what I want to do. And so kind of just, I guess I didn't really know that, it just kind of evolved. And then I've just loved it.
And the name Nicola is what does it mean?
Nicola means fearless warrior.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really cool. In Hawaiian, that's like the layman's, the basic breakdown, but Hawaiian is this, like, beautiful language where every word means, 1,000 things. So Nicola really has this deeper, rich meaning of, like being bold and brave and free and, like, strong, and it has this element of protection and community and, like, feminine and masculine. It's just like it's so much more, but it, on the surface it's just kind of like a fearless warrior, which is, I think, just inspirational for everybody.
Yeah. If there's, like, say, a 20-something-year-old girl or woman, whatever, is listening to this right now, and she's contemplating, she's like, I'm not quite sure about being an entrepreneur, or what I should do in life, or where I should go, or should I get married? Should I start a family now? What would something that you would counsel her to do?
I would say to, like, just close your eyes and listen to your heart, and just, it's so hard to tune out all of the, societal, parent, friend, like, things that people say we should do, like we should get a job, or we should, have a family, or we should have a kid. And it's just like, you just need to trust that your journey is your journey, and whatever is going to happen in due time, and I think you just need to trust that wherever you are is perfect, even if you don't know what you're doing, like, whatever you're feeling, like, it's going to come to you. Mm-hmm. And for some people, for me, I didn't have a clear path of, like, this is what I want to do, and this is my career, and I went straight out of college and whatever. And so sometimes, I looked back and was like, shoot, this person over here is making way more money, and they, this person already has 2 kids and they're married. And, when I was 24, I, like, broke up with my boyfriend and, like, moved to Australia and, like, traveled on my own and was like, quarter life crisis. What am I doing? And it was the most amazing thing that I ever did. And I think just was such a huge, like, factor in my growth and evolution, and, prepared me for, then coming back and meeting Jay and then this career. And I just think, like, it may not have been any path that I think people expect, or that people are saying, like, oh yeah, you should be totally all over the place, but it's been amazing for me, and I'm so happy. So I think my advice is just, to let go of this expectation of following a path, and just kind of, like, let it happen, and know that, like, even when you have setbacks, or maybe you're in a relationship for 5 years and it doesn't work out, it's not that you just wasted all this time and you're too late. Like, that was something that served a purpose and was preparing you for something else. And maybe the perfect person is around the corner, but you needed that to happen first, or the perfect job, or, the place to live, or whatever. And that everything is just going to happen when it's meant to happen, and and it's going to be worth it. Mm-hmm. So I think, just trusting.
Yeah. If you're wondering how life is going to turn out, then no longer. This is how it turned out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just knowing, like, especially in the times where it's not going the way we think it should go, or the way that, we're expecting it to go. Like, in the challenging times, those are always, like, I mean, it's so cliche in a sense, but those are always, like, the most important times, because you learn so much, and they really prepare you for, like, something amazing to happen. Like, they end up opening all these doors, and you just have to, like, almost, I feel like, especially when you're overwhelmed, you just have to kind of, like, close your eyes and let go at some point, and just be like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and it's going to be right. And it always is. Yeah. And usually it's at that point, like, you stress out, and then at that point where you let go, then it's like everything works out. Yeah.
Being attached to something is just painful.
Yeah.
Being attached to the outcome or something like that. All right, and there's the first half of Bianca's interview. In the second half, we talk about the awesome advice she gives me, her workout, and her eating plan. Stay tuned. Right on. That was my phone. Right on.
We're a good team.
Right on.
You're Santa Claus.
Right on. Edit that out.
Yeah.
Edit that out. That was my phone. All right, there you have it. Thank you so much, Bianca Waiton from Nicola Fitness and Physical Therapy up in Carlsbad. And I want to also thank you out there for listening. Please follow me and check in with all the other podcasts. There's other episodes that are just as riveting and interesting as Bianca's on bambamculture.com. I can also be followed on Facebook, Robert Budd, business person, and I can be followed on Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn, Robert Budd 16. And I have a last request for you out there listening, and it is to have an amazing day. Be a demand for it. Go out there and get it. And tell me how it goes for you. I mean, have a beautiful, amazing, extraordinary life. All right? That's it for now. I'm out.